Okay.
I get criticized for reviewing a lot of 80s movies and a lot of sex comedies and action films. Well, since we've seen all five Jaws films,
Whew.
even
Yeah.
though there is technically a Jaws 6,
No.
well, that means we needed to start a new franchise. And since Kay doesn't want to see Star Trek and she doesn't want to see Aliens, um,
What else was I interested in at those times?
cruises. What were you interested in the early to mid
Well,
80s?
what we watched last night, I liked that movie series. Show
So,
them.
Rocky.
Yay! Too big. Move back a little bit. Okay. Stallone. Rocky. Hey. The Italian Stallion. He gave himself that at what, 8 years old?
In the movie or in real life?
No, in the movie.
Maybe. Okay, this is going to be a
He's
little
going to bring up
explicit.
something that he should not bring up. It has nothing to do with the movie.
There was an adult film that Stallone was in when he was very young. I don't think he had sex in it, so he was kind of like an extra. And it was called Party at Kitty and Studs, I think.
Oh,
However, shortly after the release of this tiny independent home movie,
Rocky was an independent home
no,
movie. Oh,
maybe it, no, Fox, MGM. It was a joke. Shortly after, they re-released the movie Party and Kitty and Studs, not as Party at Kitty and Studs, but instead called The Italian Stallion.
I think they all did movies that bit them in the butt, huh?
I don't know, I haven't seen that movie. Do you want to see it?
No.
Apparently, he only did the movie because it paid like $300 for like a day of work, and I'm like, shoot, I'd do that. So, anyway, there's. I have a. For the first time, for me being the first time seeing this movie, there's, there's two things that I found interesting. One, the scene of him drinking eggs.
5.
I'm surprised that didn't happen more in this movie because usually whenever there's a training montage that's
They
inspired by
did the same
Rocky,
thing every day.
they often do like 3 or 4 eggs. There's one Lizzie McGuire episode where they like gave her like a 4 egg thing and she was like ew, so she just like poured it into like a stove to make like an omelet or something, or scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that's interesting. And the second thing is that there was an interview that I saw when Stallone was promoting Rocky Balboa, where the um, the host of the show said, how many people came out of Rocky wanting to be a boxer? I don't think he saw the ending of the film where Stallone looked almost dead.
Well, don't you remember where?
The ending to me was kind of gross because there was like a lot of blood, and were those like nose plugs in his nostrils? Okay. Because I was like, man, this is giving me Nuki vibes.
Can we just talk about the movie?
Oh, by the way, I wanted to do this review without my shirt on, first of all, and I wanted to do an opening sketch where, Kay was essentially gonna be like Mickey.
I was gonna do the review, kind of talking like Stallone.
Is that a good impression? Does it meet your approval? You try to do it.
I can't do impressions. Let people talk like they talk.
So anyway, do you want to talk about this movie?
Oh, are we gonna get to the movie after
5 minutes?
5 minutes? Whoa! Oh my God!
Well, they needed to know about the Stallone adult movie, and they needed
No,
to
they
know
didn't.
about
No,
how people apparently came out of this wanting to be boxers.
no, you didn't need to. Even though Apollo said, "Don't be a boxer. Do your studying. Do your work. Stay in school. All that jazz."
Don't do sleep. Get at least 6 to 8 hours of drugs a night.
No, he didn't say that. So what it was is that
Drink your school. Eat your milk.
so Rocky was a wannabe boxer,
He
but
was a boxer at the beginning.
not taking it seriously like his trainer had said.
It also might have implied that he was getting older.
Well, he didn't take it serious enough. He didn't train hard enough. He didn't take it serious enough. So Apollo Creed was coming to Philadelphia. I think January 1st. It was like supposed to be like the birthday or something of the year. And
Time moved fast in this.
so the person only was going to have 9 weeks to get prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So he was looking for an underdog. So they were talking about they were in the advertiser promoter's office and they were talking about different boxers and that. And Apollo was essentially going through a book of different boxers in the area. And he's like, what about this one, this one, this one, this one? And he goes, nope, this is the one. This is the one I want.
This Italian-looking dude named Rocky.
The Italian Stallion. They were going to give him the opportunity of a chance in a lifetime. Okay, so now what was going on is the promoter went to the gym that he had gone to and talked to, what was the trainer's name?
Mickey?
Mickey. And gave Rocky a business card, and he's like, yeah, he's looking for a sparring partner for Apollo. So that's what Rocky thought he was going to be doing, and then all of a sudden it turned out that he was going to be fighting him. And in the meantime, he was trying to go out with Paulie's sister, Adrian.
Yo, Adrian.
Who worked in the pet shop. So he had bought 3 goldfish.
And 2 turtles.
2 turtles.
Probably because he wouldn't have to feed them much.
Well, and plus he could keep going in and buying food and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and apparently the fish food had more flies than
moths.
Or more moths
because
than
he wasn't
flies.
shaking it up or something, and the moths got caught in the turtle's throat, and then they had to cough it up and everything else. So
people who have pet turtles or fish, does that happen?
I don't know. I thought it was all flakes.
Me too. Maybe that's the newer version. Maybe the newer version is, what is that food?
The flakes. The fish flakes.
Kale.
Seaweed? Flakes of stuff?
Anyway, keep talking.
So anyway,
they go on a date.
Yeah. Well, finally it was like forced. It was on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
So, but first he said he was going to train on his own. Paulie wanted him to throw him some crumbs and give him some money so he could get out of the meat packing freezer. And what Rocky started doing was...
I've been through several haunted houses that have like scenes of meat dangling. I wonder if that's why.
Maybe.
Would you like to go through one day?
No. You
went through the one in Japan?
Yeah, and didn't I do one in England?
Yeah.
That's enough to last a lifetime, folks. No. So anyway, so he started training. Paulie wasn't going to help him. And then Mickey wanted to help him. And then finally he gave in and let Mickey, because Mickey said he was, 75, 79 years old. And he lost his shot, but he had all this knowledge and he wanted to give it to Rocky and everything. And so here they are. Rocky's training, going out with Adrian. Paulie being a jerk. He's beating up food in the meat locker, meat packing company.
He's pounding meat.
Yeah, he's tenderizing it, breaking ribs.
And this, part of me is like, I don't know if this is necessarily true because the guy was slicing meat, but he wasn't wearing gloves. It's like, I'm pretty sure that would have happened in this, at least in the 60s. So, is this no? It is the bicentennial. It's set in the 70s.
And Apollo Creed wore what, red and white, blue, whatever. Yeah. He looks like the flag.
I thought it said he looks like the 4th of July.
Oh, maybe. Well, that would be
Or maybe
sparklers.
maybe that was a stand-up bit I saw recently.
He came in as George Washington, and
Yeah.
then he turned into the Statue
Wasn't
of
he
Liberty.
like tossing out like pennies or something?
It was supposed to be, but it was like glitter, more like confetti or something. So, but so then it was the night of the fight, and the one guy that worked with Apollo said, you know, you should take this guy seriously. He's taking this fight seriously. Oh yeah. And Apollo usually took out his people within 3 rounds. And Rocky wouldn't stay down. Even though they told him, stay down. He kept getting up.
Well, Mickey told him.
Yeah, and it was a draw in the end, and then they gave it to Apollo.
And
but the fight was brutal.
Oh, something interesting was in the credits. I'm not a sports or wrestling fan, so I apologize.
What was in the credits?
It said Bill Baldwin. And I was wondering if that was
Billy
Baldwin. No, Bill Baldwin was apparently an announcer for, must have been a boxing
announcer,
boxing wrestler announcer, boxing announcer, yeah.
So what did you think of the movie?
I can, it's clearly influenced tons of films. I don't know if I would ever watch this again.
That's probably my third or fourth time.
I didn't get the heck yeah that I thought I would from, but maybe it was a case of being overhyped because, yeah, in the 70s and 80s this was probably like the ultimate thing, but in the 2020s for a first time viewer,
but you had to see it.
Yes, I know.
Rocky. Oh, come on. You got.
Hey, you got to see Alien and Aliens.
No, you had your choice.
You got to see Nuki.
You had your choice back then of Star Wars. You had
Star Trek.
You know.
Rocky.
And Rocky, yeah, All right.
I feel like there might have been
I think there was another.
James
series.
Bond.
No, James Bond was okay. He wasn't.
Bond was in the 60s.
I know, but he wasn't like this.
Action?
No, James Bond was James Bond, but not Star Wars and not, Rocky movies and stuff.
Superman?
So I saw the Rocky movies.
Superman.
I think
Superman.
I missed 1 or 2 Rockies.
Superman. The first one came out in 78. The second one came out in 81.
No, it wasn't a comparison like that. You either watched this or you watched that, So I watched the Rocky movies. I think I missed 1 or 2 by going on the cruise ships, but
I've heard from to be honest, yeah, the first Rocky, it's probably a big cultural icon. That's not the reason why I started the series to watch the Rocky films. I started because I'm looking forward to Clubber Lang coming up.
I'm looking forward to the later Rockies. The son of...
Creed. The Creed films.
Yeah.
Well, eventually.
Maybe in 10 years.
Join us. Let's see.
Maybe 1 year,
So,
maybe next
okay,
year we
so,
can watch
wait.
all of the Rockies and then finally hit the Creeds.
Then we can do all of the Alien and Star Trek movies.
No.
That's what I thought.
Anyway, I enjoyed it again for like the third or fourth time.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it didn't give me that thrill.
Whatever.
And it does not make me want to become a boxer.
No. To get your head beaten in. Well, and Mickey said, you're not a boxer until you get your nose broke.
You know what? I'm fine not being a boxer then.
So he was like, I went how many matches and not got my nose broke.
So anyway, join us next time when we take a look at one of Kay's choices. And I checked the calendar correctly this time. After her choice, then we can get into Halloween.
All right. Halloween.
Bye.
Bye bye.